Why do they keep re-releasing Shadow of the Colossus? Its controls are garbage.
Everyone's already played Shadow of the Colossus. Is this even necessary? They aren't even going to include some of the cut content from the original.
Hey, newsflash guys, but the remaster of Shadow of the Colossus on PS3 kinda sucks. Take it from me, a guy who's completed the game so many times I'm up to 3 digits. So I've been hearing from a lot of people that the remake, and yes, this is a remake, a built from the ground up remake of Shadow of the Colossus is completely unnecessary and unwarranted. I mean, I get it guys, Sony's E3 kinda sucked, but that's no reason to hate on what has the potential to be the greatest and most important remake in gaming history. And I know that's a bold statement, but again, hear me out. First things first. For all the people complaining about the number of times Shadow of the Colossus has been remade between the PS2 and PS3 editions, the game has only moved 2.5 million copies worldwide in over a decade. Of course, that's only physical sales, but you could add maybe 500,000 more at best through digital sales and people who've played it through PS Now. That's hardly milking it like Skyrim! Second of all, the PS3 edition sucks. I said this before. The only improvements it made on the PS2 edition was a more consistent 30 frames per second since the PS2 version ran like crap. It also minimized motion blur and added stereoscopic 3D, who cares? It also added problems that not even the PS2 had, like an even worse AI for aggro and the removal of several sweet spots on the many colossi that makes for an overall more frustrating experience for first-time players as they fumble around trying to stab the damn beast while Wander flails about even when the colossi aren't moving. Thirdly, cut content will never come back to Shadow of the Colossus because either the colossi flat out did not work in the realm of the game and were discarded very early on, or were mechanically too similar to the colossi we actually did end up getting and were deemed unnecessary. It's a fun idea to think about, but all further research tells us is adding these guys would have made for either a lot of additional frustration or a lot of worthless padding. Don't mourn their loss, friends. And lastly, let's talk about a very sore spot that many of the game's detractors and even its most ardent defenders have. To put it lightly, its controls suck. It's been stated many times by Fumito Ueda that the control scheme in Shadow of the Colossus was a very deliberate choice to make controlling Wander and aggro feel somewhat out of your hands, to feel that sense of helplessness that Wander feels while he's being tossed about by the many colossi, and I do honestly think it works. But, as a heavy critic of games with bad controls, I can't deny it really can make for a frustrating experience even 100 playthroughs in. I can appreciate it, I love it, but I can just as well remove my nostalgia goggles and admit that wow, they are not good. To be more specific, Wander moves at 2 speeds, tiptoeing and a light jog. On top of that, there is a very large dead zone that makes it feel like you have to make massive inputs to move Wander at all. But once he does, he moves very quickly and well out of your control if you're not used to it. In an interview with Famitsu, Shuhei Yoshida said, "It's the same as the PS2 version, but player preferences for controls and such change over time. So, we're working on implementing a more modernized way to play." Obviously, this is an even more polite way of saying exactly what I just said. The controls are not accessible to everyone, and they want to change that. This is crucially needed. Even as much as I love the way the game plays now, I have played that game. I have loved it for a decade. But I think more than ever, it's time for other people to be able to experience this game, when Sony is reaching its widest audience in a long time, many of whom have come from backgrounds exclusive to Xbox and Nintendo prior to the PS4. Making the game a more accessible experience does nothing but good for everyone. And I think that, even above the more astounding visuals, is the most important thing. This is a good thing. This is exactly what remakes or even remasters should be. To take dated games and modernize them, treat them with love and care, and bring them to the next generation for more people to love and experience as well. Is this necessary? Of course it is.